Hello YouTube, this is a review of the Nikon D850. Well, it's a test actual review, and I'm not a testing expert who goes in the lab and does all kinds of fancy tests. I'm just a photographer. I'm a wildlife bird photographer, and all I wanted to know is, will the Nikon D850 take my photography to the next level? And so the review is really simple test comparison of photographs with and without the D850, and this is all the way it goes. So this is a photograph I took with the micro four thirds, and I want to take it to the next level, and full frame and with all the features of the almost 50 megapixels megabytes of file. I thought, like, wow, this is going to take my photography to the next level. So this is photograph with my current setup with the micro four thirds, and and the file size is 16.58 megabyte, and this is with a D850 full frame 53.36 megabyte. And so we're just gonna go about 10 sets of photographs one by one and see what it did for me. I did a test for about 2 days. So here's one, this is the other, and this is the micro four thirds. They're both taken with 600 mm equivalent lens, and this is with the Nikon D850 with the 600 mm f4 VR lens. And I wasn't expecting this, and seems to me that the micro four thirds surprisingly give a better photograph. And look at them both in, here it is in the full 100% crop again here with 100, and this is the D850, and this is the micro four thirds, and this is the way the review is going to go. I'm going to make judgment for anybody, and I'm not bashing the D850. I'm just looking whether it was going to take my photography to the next level, and for me to make my decision. That's what this is all about. And I'm just going to go 10 sets of photographs one by one, and I'm going to let you guys decide for yourselves. All right, going to the next sets of photographs. These are all raw photographs, and I'm giving a link for everybody to download these photographs, check for yourselves, and I'm also converted them to JPEG without any processing. You can also check those out. So again, this is a 16.58 micro four thirds taken with a 600 mm equivalent lens, and this is the D850 with a 53.39 megabyte taken with a 600 Nikon VR lens, and again reviewing them next to each other. This is the micro four thirds. This is the D850. Again, I wasn't expecting this. This is the D850 with a 600, and this is the micro four thirds with a 600. They were shot next to each other, and just for you to know what the setup was like, this is, oops, let's go back to this. So this is the D850 put on a stand in the vehicle. It's too heavy to handhold, and this is the micro four thirds handheld, a 600 equivalent also. And this is my friend who he's the owner of the D850, and we went to do the test together. And this is how the cameras compare. However, the first two sets of photographs that I showed you, they were actually handheld with the D850 because I couldn't get the angle properly with the stand. This is one of the disadvantages I found. Maybe it's just coming from a micro four thirds, but the rest of photographs I believe are going to be all on a stand, and I'll let you know if they're not in any one of those. All right, let's go to the next set of photographs. This is the micro four thirds again with a 17.59 file. This is the D850 with a 54.63 file right? Again, this was done on a stand for the D850 and 600 handheld on the Micro Four Thirds, and looking at them next to each other. What are we looking at here? Again, this is the 100% crop on the Micro Four Thirds, and this here with the D850. Again, it seems to be sharper, more crisp. Looking at them in full, this is the Micro Four Thirds, the 600 equivalent, and this is the D850 on a stand. That was a handheld. Again, it didn't seem to take my photography to the next level, and I don't think it's because the D850 cannot give good photographs. I think it's a fantastic camera, and it does. In fact, taking photographs with a smaller lens give fantastic photographs, images. But however, it just I think the lack of in camera stability system on the D850 with the high resolution might not be the best combination for a wildlife photographer. I think it'll do a great job. I mean, put it on a massive stand and put it on a remote shutter. I believe you will get different results. But with the bird photography, wildlife bird photography, sometimes you need the flexibility. Alright, YouTube, going into the next set of photographs. This here is the D850 on DX mode, so the file size is half the size, 23.31 megabytes, ISO 640, and the shot was taken at 1/8000th of a second and on a stand. And this is the Micro Four Thirds handheld, ISO 200 and at 125 of a second. And looking at them next to each other, we look at the Micro Four Thirds there, slightly off focus, but again the D850, even at 1/8000th of a second on a stand, came even less in focus. That surprised me. It just wasn't what I was expecting. Again, the photographs slightly crispy here, but the Micro Four Thirds again seem to have done a better job. Now, looking at them with a little bigger, 100% crop. This is the Micro Four Thirds, and this is the D850. Again, the Micro Four Thirds. Again, I'm not making conclusions for anybody. I just wanted to know whether the D850 with the 100 scope, whether it's going to take my bird photography to the next level. I really want to take my bird photography to the next level, and that's why I tested it out for 2 days, and that's I'm going to make my conclusions, and I'm going to let everybody make their own conclusions at this point. All right, going into the next set of photographs. This is it was after just after sundown, and this was done on a 300 mm on the Nikon D850. It was done on a 300 mm 70-300 lens, Nikon lens, and this was done on a equivalent of a 600. And because it was getting pretty dark, because of in camera stabilization on the Micro Four Thirds, I was able to use it as ISO 500 and 1/115th of a second, whereas with the D850 it really went to 256,000 ISO for a 1/125th of a second. And next to each other, looking at these photographs, 100% crop, 100% crop, and again the photographs seem to be on the side of the Micro Four Thirds. This is the D850 100% crop. This is the Micro Four Thirds 100% crop. And I think this set of photographs really nailed what I think the issue is with a D850. Fantastic camera. Here you're getting a 69, almost 70 megabytes, 69.51 megabytes. But the problem is that because of the not having the in-camera stabilization, the camera tends to use a much higher ISO setting in order to compensate, and that gives you much more noise than a micro four thirds. Theoretically, micro four thirds will give you more noise. In reality, you're gonna get more noise on the D850. It seems to me, at least from what I tested, because of the stability problem. Now, I do have photographs taken with the D850 at ISO 64, and so we're gonna look at those also. All right, YouTube. So this is the next set of photographs. This is again taken with a micro four thirds. It was on the golden hour, so ISO 500, 1/250th second, f4. This was taken with a 300, 7-300 lens and full frame, 54 megabytes on the D850, and ISO was 800, so it wasn't bad compared to 500. And looking at these next to each other, what do we have? Okay, again, so let's go here in the eye level. So that is the micro four thirds, and this is the, okay, there we are. This is the D850. Difficult call, maybe, but so here we have, all right, what do we have there? I think definitely, again, the micro four thirds has an edge over here. Let's look at them at in bigger frame. So this is ISO 800 with a D850 with a 300, 70 to 300 and 300 lens, and this is the micro four thirds. And again, it just seems to have the D850, in my case, for my wildlife, didn't seem to take me to the next level. All right, going to the next set of photographs. Again, somebody may say that, oh wow, you seem to be bashing the D850. You may think that way. Hey, I'm not bashing anybody, and I'm not pro anybody, and I don't get paid by anybody. I'm just a simple photographer wanting to take my photography to the next level. And I took the photographs, and I'm letting the photographs speak for me. Let them speak for you. You can make your own decisions. And if you think it's the best camera in the world because it's got a 100 score rating, you know what? Go buy it, enjoy it, and I'm sure you get good photographs with it. Nikon has never disappointed anybody ever in the history. You make your own decision. So going to the next set of photographs. Here we have a micro four thirds ISO 200 on a 16.98 byte file. Again, this one here is the D850 on a 600 lens on a DX mode, so it's got a 23.99 file, ISO 640, but that gave me a speed of 1/5000th per second. And looking at these next to each other, what we have, so this is the micro four thirds, and you can see again the D850 is slightly bigger because it's on a DX mode, so it gave you that extra zoom on it. But again, the details seem to be lacking on the D850 with the 600 lens. Looking at them both at this is at 100% crop. This is the micro four thirds at 600 equivalent, and this is the D850. This is at 1/5000th of a second shutter speed on a stand on the window of the vehicle, and it still did. It's very sensitive, and I think that's what it is. I would think that when Nikon comes out with the next camera, probably the D5 Mark II or D6 or whatever they're going to release, they probably put similar features to the D850 with the in-camera stabilization. I'm probably going to buy it even at a big price, but I think it's going to be worth it. At the moment, it doesn't seem to be doing what I want it to do for my life. All right, going to the next set of photographs. This is the again D850 with a 600 mm lens, ISO 64 here. So we really went down on the ISO, 1/640th of a second, and a DX, so 21 megabyte file, compared to a 16.57 megabyte file ISO 200 on the Micro Four Thirds. And looking at the photographs again in comparison, what we have here. So this is the DX D850 ISO 64. This is the Micro Four Thirds, again 200 ISO. Again, sharper image, at least on my eyes. Put right next to it. This is handheld. This is on a stand. Looking at them at full crop. This is the Nikon D850 DX mode. This is the Micro Four Thirds. Again, you decide for yourselves, and I'm going to decide for myself. All right, next set of photographs. This is This is ISO 64 full frame, 47.61 FX mode on the D850, and with a 1/1000th of a second shutter speed. And this is the Micro Four Thirds on ISO 200, 16.97 file. And if we go to the comparison of the two, what we have. So okay, so this is ISO 64. This is what we have on the D850 600 mm lens, and this is what we have on the Micro Four Thirds. Close call, but let's look at them and so this is the handheld on the Micro Four Thirds 600 mm. This is the D850. Let me see if we can go a bit bigger than that on this one. 200. Interesting. Let's go here. This is also 200. Not good. You definitely can get a much more of a zoom in on the D850. The potential is great. Potential is great. But it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle to get it to get sharp photographs on that. All right, moving on. Next set of photos. Here we have D850 with 600 lens again, ISO 640 DX mode, 23.97 megabytes, and 1/5000th of a second. And on a stand, and we've got the Micro Four Thirds ISO 200, 1/25th of a second handheld. Again, looking at them next to each other, what we have here. So we've got the D850 on full 100% crop, and we've got the Micro Four Thirds. Again, the Micro Four Thirds seems to be having an edge. Looking at them at 100% crop, that's what we have on the Micro Four Thirds. This is what we have on the D850. Again, Micro Four Thirds, D850. Let's go 200 zoom on the D850 and 200 crop on the Micro Four Thirds. Again, this is DX mode. All right, YouTube. So here we have the D850 600 mm VX lens, ISO 64 on this one, 1/25th of a second on a stand, 46.2 megabyte file, and this is the Micro Four Thirds on a 16 megabyte file, ISO 200, and comparing the two, what do we have here? So we've got the okay, we have the D850 there, 100% crop. Close call. Close call. I think the D850 has an edge here. Let's look at them bigger. So we have got there we have the Micro Four Thirds, and we've got the D850 200 zoom. Again, you start seeing the faults much more over there. However, I'm sure it'll be better than the Micro Four Thirds on 200 zoom. Well, yeah, I would give the edge to the D850, but I don't think it's that. I don't think the consistency is there, and my judgment is because of the lack of the in camera stability. I think it'll be great for landscapes. I think it's going to be great for other photographic categories, but for the wildlife and bird photography, I think the D850 without the in-camera stability, for me, I can't judge for everybody. For me, I think maybe not yet, but I think more testing it's worth doing more testing. All right, so this is the next set of photographs. What we have here is a D850 on a 600 mm VX lens, ISO 64, and 1,250 of a second, and 1/1000th of a second on ISO 200 Micro Four Thirds. So ISO 64 should be much better, of course, but let's see what we have here next to each other. Again, this is full frame, almost 50 megabytes. So this on the rendering. Okay, there we have it. That's the D850, and that's the Micro Four Thirds. I would give the edge in this one in the Micro Four Thirds. However, oops, close call. Close call. Let's look at them in a bigger frame. So this is the Micro Four Thirds at 100 crop, and this is the D850. Again, with the ISO 64, I would have expected better. This is a 200 crop, and this is the 200 crop on the Micro Four Thirds. Definitely better cropping on the D850. Definitely better cropping. I think the potential is definitely there on the D850. The question is, how much consistency can you get compared to the competition in getting consistent, sharp images to start with, for you to be able to even crop it much more. Because the more you crop, the more details you get, and the more faults you see. You decide. All right, moving on. Here we have. This is DX mode. So this is cropped in-camera cropping on the D850, 600 mm with in-body cropping, and this is the so we have about 20 megabytes file, and we got here a 16 megabyte file on Micro Four Thirds, 200 ISO here, and with the ISO 64 on the D850. Going to the comparison again, what do we have? Pretty nice. Again, it seems to be lacking, it's tough to get sharp photographs even on the stand. I think just pressing the shutter with the I think again it goes to the in-body stabilization. I would say let's look at them a bit bigger. This is the D850, and this is the micro four thirds. You decide. Right. So then I tried to get some in-flight, birds in flight shots. This is the D850 crop mode, and the first one I tried got me, again, not good, out of focus, and then the next one again out of focus. I wasn't expecting that. Tried it second time, I got nice flight, but again out of focus, and got the second one missed. So very slow frames per second, and very difficult to get birds in flight. On the other hand, with the micro four thirds, oh no, this is again D850. This time with full frame and ISO 64, and in flight, see, again, well, pretty nice, I guess. With ISO 64, maybe that was a bit difficult, but again, one shot, and that's it. 1/2 second. Okay, that explains why this one was out of focus, but still, very slow frame rate compared to the micro four thirds. Here we have, okay, again, ISO 200, still very low ISO for micro four thirds, and I was able to get, in the same conditions, same place, I was able to get a much higher shutter speed. And I think because all these were done in aperture priority, and the reason is because with the in-camera stability, camera body stability on the micro four thirds, it dares to go in high shutter speed, whereas with low ISO, whereas with the D850, it just doesn't have that. The computer itself is not programmed to trust it to take high shutter speeds because of the noise, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to do it. Now, look at this. Look at this photograph. Take that one, and then I got that one, and then I got that one, and just continues on. So look at that. I mean, much faster frame rate. And at this point, I'll tell you really that this was the Olympus EM1 Mark II. I don't get paid by Olympus. In fact, they have terrible customer service. They wouldn't even talk to me. Nikon, on the other hand, I'm not a Nikon customer, but they engage me. I give A+ to Nikon support. But I mean, the EM1 Mark II has got 60 frames per second on pre-capture mode, which is what this is, and the best you can get on the Nikon is, I think, 7 frames per second, and if you add the extra attachment, then you go to 9. But I mean, there's no comparison between 9 and 60. This is so again. So that is, you decide. It seems to me that in flight, I'm better off with the micro four thirds setup at the moment. So at the end, you do get tired carrying the huge 600 mm lens with an Nikon, and after moving on a bit forward on the way, I got to see another bird on a tree. I didn't have the energy to lift it up even in the car and put it on the stand on the window again. And whereas with the micro four thirds, all I had to do is just pick it up, open the window, and shoot. And again, I was able to. These are a few frames. I got much more than these. I got tons of them as the bird does take off, and it's just the ease of use on the lighter micro four thirds, and the quality difference I'm seeing. You decide. So my thoughts are as follows. These two photographs, they're not birds nor wildlife, but I think they sum it up. This is a very light lens, 70-300, I believe zoomed at 300 on the D850. And here we got full frame in and low light. So for the camera for the D850 to be able to give me a decent shutter speed where it trusted that lens in order to give me a good photograph that was in focus, and it went to a 256,000 ISO, whereas on aperture mode, putting it at the widest, and with the Micro Four Thirds EM1 Mark II, again, it on a ISO 500 is all it required, because it was able to go to 1/15th of a second to be able to give me both, in order to give me a decent sharp photograph. And what do we have? We have what looks here like a pretty good photograph on both, but once you go to the 100 zoom, you look there and there you have it. So the combination of the high ISO that you're going to need in order to really try to get some stable photographs, because again, my belief is because it lacks the in-body stabilization system, and the D8 the EM1 Mark II has got the in-body stabilization that allows you to take the photographs at a low ISO. The full frame low noise advantage seems to be lost in the real world, at least from the wildlife photography point of view. I let you make your own decision, YouTube. I'm not going to decide for you. YouTube, don't bash on me. I did not manipulate those photographs. They are available for you to download. I have a link down. This is a comparison. The D850 was taken with photographs on a stand, and the Micro Four, the EM1 Mark II, was taken handheld. I did not manipulate any of these photographs. You look at them, you decide if it works for you. If it doesn't, if you think the photograph, something was wrong with the way the photographs were taken, it's fine. All I'm saying is, my recommendation is, go try it out, because in order to get this equivalent of wildlife photography, you're going to need, on the D850, you're going to need at least $10,000 to $15,000. Check it out, try it out, and decide. It's a beast. The high megapixel is a beast. I don't think many people are going to have consistent wildlife photographs in the field sharp enough for them to crop as they would like to with the 50 megabyte files. You go try it out. It's a beast. I'm looking forward to the next level released by Nikon. Maybe the next version of the D5, or maybe a D6 that will have maybe similar features to the D850 and the in-body stabilization. I think that will be something that will revolutionize photography. D850, in my opinion, maybe not yet, but I'm willing to try it again, and I'm willing to do more tests. Make your own call. I'm going to make mine. I hope I helped you.